Graduates, invited guests, friends and family, good afternoon and welcome to the University of Adelaide's graduation ceremony. This afternoon's ceremony is for students from the Faculty of Health and Medical Sciences and the Faculty of Engineering, Computer and Mathematical Sciences. The ceremony will commence very shortly, and the University has a contract photographer to offer photography services during the ceremony. I would ask that if you wish to take a photograph, please do it discreetly from your seat and with the flash off. To maintain the ceremony's sense of occasion, please turn your mobile phones off or to vibrate. And in the case of emergency, please follow the direction of all staff members. The emergency assembly point is the Goodman Crescent Lawns to the west of Benithan Hall. The evacuation plan can be found on page 6 of the program. For safety reasons, guests are not to enter the galleries upstairs, and please do not sit on the steps in the balcony area. As a reminder, please keep your masks on during the whole ceremony, and we encourage you to continue wearing your mask as you move around the campus after the ceremony. Thank you, and enjoy this afternoon. Graduates and guests, the academic procession is about to enter the hall. After this, we will be singing the national anthem, the words of which are on page 8 of the program. We invite you now to please stand for the academic procession and remain standing for the national anthem.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Please be seated. I, Catherine Branson, Chancellor of the University of Adelaide, declare open this congregation, convened for the purpose of presenting degrees. Distinguished guests, parents, friends, families, most importantly graduates, welcome to this University of Adelaide graduation ceremony. Gana Miana, Gana Yata Nadlu Tambandi. we recognise we're on Kaurna land. We acknowledge the Kaurna people, past and present, the original custodians of the Adelaide Plains, and thus of the land on which all of the campuses of the University of Adelaide are built. We acknowledge the Kaurna people's ongoing spiritual connection to this beautiful land. Graduates, your graduation is an event in which you and your family can take great pride. We at the university are also proud of your achievements. This day, Graduation Day, is a day which you might think is a good day for reflection, looking to the past and thinking about where your future may take you. Whatever your future is, I'm confident that the learning that you've done here, the skills you've developed and acquired here, will stand you in great stead, not only in your working and professional life, but in every aspect of your life. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce today's graduation orator, Mr. Raymond Spencer, a former law student of this university. Mr. Spencer left South Australia at an early age and only returned to live in 2009, following more than 35 years of living and working in the United States of America, in India, and in Europe. He spent the first 20 of those years working in the not-for-profit sector, in rural and community development. In 1989, his life took a different slant, and he started the entity Canbay International, an IT services company focused on serving the financial services industry. He led Canbay from its inception through to its having more than 8,500 employees, and then ultimately to its being acquired by Capgemini in 2007. Mr. Raymond Spencer is an important contributor to the South Australian community. He currently acts as chair of 3 of our major organisations. First, the South Australian Health and Medical Research Institution, often referred to as SAMRI, also the Central Adelaide Local Health Network, and Zen Energy. Among the numerous other positions he has held is the position of chair of the South Australian Economic Development Board. We are privileged to hear from Mr. Spencer today. Please welcome him.
Good afternoon. The Honourable Catherine Branson, ACQC Chancellor, Professor Jenny Shaw, Deputy Vice-Chancellor Academic, distinguished guests, members of the faculty, and most importantly, the graduating class. I am very honoured to be here today and humbled that I've been asked to be part of this illustrious gathering. This is a very exciting time for you, of course, but also for your parents and friends, as it marks a great milestone in your life journey. You are graduating in a remarkable time. We have 3 major crises happening at once. The most obvious, of course, is the COVID-19 pandemic, a health and economic crisis unlike anything we have lived through. We're also in the midst of the 4th Industrial Revolution, a more silent revolution where technology and software is disrupting organizations and changing the fundamental scaffolding of society. Over the next 5 to 10 years, machines will replace some jobs, enhance human performance in many jobs, and enable the creation of totally new jobs. What does the future of work and our society look like in an era of automation? There are few aspects of life that are not impacted by this question, and no person can escape it. And thirdly, we're in the midst of a global climate crisis that threatens the very existence of life as we know it. And if there's a blessing to the COVID-19 pandemic, it is, I think, that it's forced all organizations and many people to take stock and reset. I don't often quote Lenin, but he said, "There are decades when nothing happens, and there are weeks when decades happen. And I think this has been a series of months where indeed decades have happened. And you are graduating in a time where you don't have to worry about thinking out of the box, because there is no box. There is no going back. You, therefore, are graduating with the freedom of being able to do things very differently. How exciting is that? So I wish to share 4 one-minute stories from my life that illustrate some of the life principles I find helpful in guiding my decisions and actions. You can decide if they work for you. My first is entitled, Be a Lifelong Inquirer. Life is such a wonderful mix of things we understand and things that are a complete mystery. Both deserve rational and intuitive inquiry. As you heard, from the age of 20 to 26, I lived in India and spent a lot of time living in villages. I received countless life gifts from my time there, and one that I carry with me is the importance of asking questions. In my early work, I learned a method of inquiry that moves from objective level questions that sort of unearth the clear picture of the situation, to asking questions that reveal how people feel about it, to the interpretive questions where we discuss what it all means and what can be done, to finally questions that provoke decisions. And I've found this capacity to ask questions to be a great friend over the 50 years that followed that. In a meeting just recently with 3 women in Adelaide who were concerned about the lack of Adelaide women in leadership roles in business and in engineering and science, this very natural methodology elicited a wonderful and spirited conversation which formulated numerous ideas and paths forward that we're now keen to implement. You can be a lifelong learner and a lifelong inquirer. The second is, there is a solution to every problem. There's nothing that can happen in life that cannot be worked through. I talk about this as having a mindset that all is possible. If you view circumstances or events in your life as problems, then you'll end up taking a victim mentality. View them as challenges. Challenges which bring opportunity to reflect, to grow, to push what you believe are your limits. No matter what you do in life, you will have highs and lows. It's the work you do and the persistence that you have in the lows that determine how high you can go. Successful people purge "it's impossible" from their vocabulary. No if-onlys or regrets. Nothing sucks the life out of a situation more quickly than an if-only. For success, IQ is not nearly as important as I will. There is a solution to every problem. The third story is treasure your integrity. Take the time as you graduate to decide what is really important in my life. Because if you don't decide what you value, other people will decide it for you. Early in the life of the business that we started, I was faced with the dilemma of integrity. I discovered one of our most valuable associates had violated our company values. This person was seen by all our people as indispensable, and as the leader, I had to decide whether I just turned a blind eye or did I face up to this and let him go. In life and in leadership, there are few situations where you have to make a decision, where decisions are simply between right and wrong. In fact, these are not really decisions. Real decisions are between right and right, or wrong and wrong. I decided that he had to move on, and in the end, our company thrived with its culture intact. Treasure your integrity. And lastly, listen to your heart. Use enthusiasm as a personal benchmark for deciding the worthiness of an action, a role, a job, or a quest. Does it have meaning for me? Is it worth it? If you're not having fun in what you're doing, don't do it. Life is too short. In 2004, with our firm, we did an initial public offering, an IPO, and we decided to have fun while doing 8 to 10 meetings a day for 10 weeks, where you literally say the same thing 8 to 10 times a day for 2 weeks. And the banker, as we went into the meeting, would give us a word we had to use in the presentation. One time I got lamppost, another didgeridoo. And we had great fun embedding these words into our story so that the analysts we were speaking to, didn't even know that we were saying those words. And we were 3 times oversubscribed because we brought energy and fun to these presentations. And having fun doesn't mean there are not times when you want to give up or that it all seems too hard. It doesn't mean that occasionally you don't need to take a break, but at the end of the day, if you're not driven to get back up, if you're not excited about what you're doing, go get another vision and do something else. Take time to celebrate the victories. Affirm people when they're doing what's right. Call out people for positive behaviors. Have fun. Listen to your heart. Graduates, yours is a unique and special life, and it deserves to be lived with excellence. Whatever road you are choosing to travel, I challenge you to manifest excellence in all that you do along your life journey. To paraphrase a quote attributed to Aristotle, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. And it's interesting to note that the antonym of the word excellence is mediocrity. Contentment comes in striving for excellence in all that you do, even if you fall a little short of your aspirations. Settling for mediocrity can lead to frustration and misery. Go forth, be content, have the time of your life, and every day of your life make a difference. Thank you.
On behalf of the graduates and their families attending today's ceremony, I would like to thank Mr. Raymond Spencer for his stimulating and inspiring address. We are honoured that you have taken the time to join us on this special day to share your thoughts with us and experiences. Your words of encouragement and advice are greatly appreciated, and they remind us that education places upon each of us an enduring responsibility to make the best possible use of our talents and to contribute to the betterment of society in whatever way we can. So please join me in once again thanking Mr. Raymond Spencer.
I will now receive the candidates for degrees. I call on the Deputy Vice-Chancellor and Vice President Academic.
Chancellor, I, Professor Jenny Shaw, Deputy Vice-Chancellor and Vice President Academic of the University of Adelaide, certify to you and the whole university that the graduates who will be presented to you have all fulfilled the conditions prescribed for admission to the award for which they are so presented.
I, Catherine Branson, Chancellor of the University of Adelaide, by virtue of the power committed to me by the university, confirm that each graduate is admitted to the rank and privileges of a holder of the award in the University of Adelaide for which they are so presented. I call on the Interim Head of the School of Civil, Environmental and Mining Engineering, Professor Scott Smith, to present the graduates.
Chancellor, I, Interim Head of the School of Civil, Environmental and Mining Engineering, Professor Scott Smith, present to you graduates from the School of Civil, Environmental and Mining Engineering. To the honours degree of Bachelor of Engineering Murshid Issa Sayyid Al-Humaydi. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Science, Thomas Allwright. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Finance, Oliver, Umberto, Robert, and Lou. Jade Joseph Dulwitz Bubby. Samuel Robert Brown. Yu Chiao Chiao. Xin Deng. Ty Hammett Edwards. Brendan Malcolm Hiscock. Ray Hu. Guantong Huang. Zheyu Jiang. Xijia Lai. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Finance, Thomas Christopher Lawler. Jun Chuen Li. Alexander James Lundberger. Zichun Liu. Joel Anton Matasin. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Finance, Arabella Rose Thomas. Jessica Turner. Jia Yi Wang. Jonathan Toby Weaver. Leila Yeganema. Simin Zhang. And Yan Chun Jiang. To the degree of Master of Engineering, Civil and Environmental, Devia. Shyam Muhesh Dran Gudoya. Jingtian Liu. Xiaonan Luo. And Ri Hu. To the degree of Master of Engineering, Mining, Gal Den Batsengel. Ganesh Sai Dogali. Sai Medelaesh Gadi Gupula. Jaswanth Kuma Thokala. And Yishuan Xiang. To the degree of Master of Engineering, Civil and Structural, Amrita Bipin. Rishi Mithra Bogarapu. Shabel El Fattah. Aravind Govindu. Hitesh Harish Lad. Mobin Koshi Matthews. Divakaran Rajendran. Ajith Sudagar. And Mengyao Wang. To the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Use of Artificial Neural Networks and Fluid Transient Waves for Active and Passive Inspection of Water Pipelines, Jessica Maria Bordequez Arevalo. For a thesis entitled Development of Next Generation Construction Materials with Graphene Additives, Van Duck Ho. For a thesis entitled Numerical Modelling of the Time-Dependent Behaviour of Tunnels in Squeezing Ground, Yuji Kabwe. And for a thesis entitled A Systematic Investigation of Multi-Objective Evolutionary Algorithms Applied to the Water Distribution System Problem, Peng Wang. Chancellor, this concludes the graduates from the School of Civil, Environmental and Mining Engineering.
Chancellor, I, Dean and Head of the Adelaide Nursing School, Associate Professor Frank Donnelly, present to you graduates from the Adelaide Nursing School. To the degree of Bachelor of Nursing, Matilda Butler. Ella Chapley. Joanna Kate Chmielewski. Chelsea Clark. Louisa Cook. Phoebe Ellen Kempson. Si Shu Kyu. Georgia May Coon. Kate Edwina Pittman. Ganesha Talwar. Ho Ka Sang. Oliver Floyd van der Linden. Chloe Jenny Yard. And Shi Yu Shang. To the Graduate Certificate in Nursing Science, Infection Control Nursing, Dale John Dalton. To the Graduate Diploma in Nursing Science, Emergency Nursing, Sally Ann Araki. Suzette Cavales Beneficio. Melanie Ann Brooks. And Una Smudic. To the Graduate Diploma in Nursing Science, Anaesthetic and Recovery Nursing, Kwithwe Sabanda. To the Graduate Diploma in Nursing Science, Acute Care Nursing, Danae Frith. And Lally Rosario. To the degree of Master of Nursing Science, Evangelia Charitu. To the degree of Master of Clinical Nursing, Si Yan Law. To the degree of Doctor of Philosophy for a thesis entitled Cardiovascular Risk Behaviour and Health Literacy among Patients with Cardiovascular Disease in Ethiopia, Lema Njesa Bulto. Chancellor, this concludes the graduates from the Adelaide Nursing School.
Chancellor, I, Interim Head of the School of Psychology, Associate Professor Rachel Roberts, present to you graduates from the School of Psychology. To the degree of Bachelor of Psychological Science, Jennifer Helen Barsby. Nicola Marie Barton. Simron Baru. Ioannis Kanatselis. Angela Kate Christie. Jackie Samantha Donty. Alexander James Derrington Borosevich. Elizabeth Nung Carmen. Eileen Ergenbass. Rocco Fiorita. Sean Patrick Gathard. Riley Alexander Glynn. Sophie Goodwin. Jake Mitchell Green. Ramatullah Husseini. Eleni Kasamidou. Syra Kazmi. Rowena Ying Ru Kaur. Vicky Yanyan Leo. Sierra Jade McGann. Kate Lee Ma. Sabrina Juliet Marin. Heather Grace McNabb. Georgia Perry Sterling. Alexander Lachlan Phillips Hughes. Tidar Poe. Kate Erin Potts. Sanjana Perswani. Stephanie Jasmine Lee Smith. Yagana Sultanpur. Serbi Surya. Colleen Simons. And Emily Elizabeth Yard. To the honours degree of Bachelor of Psychological Science, Sir Yi Eng. Teresa Bowie. Sarah Caroline Cowap. Alana Rose Croft. Jamie Lee Francis. And Gur Puja Kaur. To the Graduate Diploma in Psychology, Lucia Maria Pitchler. To the degree of Master of Psychology Clinical, Kane Drew. Tegan Marie Leach. And Rachel Huimin Nung. To the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Master of Psychology Clinical, for a thesis entitled Shame and Working Alliance in Healthcare Relationships, Daniel James Carabalese. For a thesis entitled The Dynamics of Self-Regulation Model in the Domain of Problematic Internet Usage, Can Commitment and Progress Frameworks Help Regulate Problematic Internet Use? David William Dunbar. And for a thesis entitled The Human-Animal Bond, Human Social Support and Resilience, Understanding Relationships that Aid Through Adversity, Leanne Michelle Hill. To to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy for a thesis entitled The Empowering Role of the Belief in a Just World for the Self in Adaptive Psychological Functioning, Jonathan David Bartholomaeus. For a thesis entitled Acute Behavioural Tolerance to the Effect of Alcohol on Information Processing, Response Inhibition and Subjective Intoxication, Ross Edward Comley. For a thesis entitled The Me Too Movement, a Mixed Methods Analysis of Content Posted and Perceptions of Benefit and Harm, Chloe Luke Druitt. For a thesis entitled Epidemiological Evidence and Potential Interventions for Problematic Gaming, a Behavioural Addiction Perspective, Matthew William Richard Stevens. And for a thesis entitled Changes to White Matter and Cognition Following Traumatic Brain Injury, Erica Jane Wallace. Chancellor, this now concludes the presentation of graduates from the School of Psychology and for this ceremony.
I'm now delighted to introduce Dr. Jonathan Bartholomaeus, who you may have noticed this afternoon received the award of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Bartholomaeus will give the valedictory address on behalf of the cohort of students receiving their awards this afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you, Chancellor. Hello, everyone. The valedictory address is traditionally an inspirational address, a final farewell as we, the graduates, move out from the protection and the security of the university and forge a career and take on the world. Let me be the first to acknowledge the irony with which I give this address. Having recently secured a position here at the university, I myself will be going nowhere. Nonetheless, I hope that my brief comments today might provide a symbolic and fitting end to our time here at the University of Adelaide. Today I'd like to speak briefly about error. Having spent several years completing a PhD in the field of psychology and trying to measure things like beliefs and worldviews, error is a topic with which I'm intimately familiar. Technically, error is defined as a measure of the difference between the observed value of a quantity and its true value, or an unintentional deviation from truth or accuracy. These definitions are a little bit complex, so today I'll simply define error as missing the mark. I'd like to suggest that error, in all its various forms, exists throughout all aspects of our lives. Indeed, with all that's happening in our world at the moment, we can see that things are not as they should be. Our whole world is currently in error. There has been or will be error in our personal lives. We will all miss the mark in being the child, sibling, spouse, or parent we should be. There will be error in places where we go to work. I've seen people become disillusioned and cynical as they encounter unexpected systemic and interpersonal problems at work. As graduates, we can easily fall under the illusion of thinking our work lives and our future workplaces will be perfect. There's even error in the facts and the knowledge that we have been taught here at university. This is the nature of human knowledge, always evolving, always incomplete, and always in error. Embarrassingly, there's even errors in this very address. I'll leave you to figure out what they are. I say this not to be critical, but simply to acknowledge the fact that the world in which we live is imperfect. Once we accept this, the question then arises, what do we do when confronted by an imperfect world, a world full of error? My answer? We must think. Organised and orderly thought is one of the best solutions we have to error. Of course, we must also act, but only, I argue, when preceded by careful thought. It was in a conversation with my dad that I began to realise the importance of thought. The year was 2014 and I was in the throes of exams. One night, I was complaining to my parents about the stresses and strains of study, as is customary for university students. In an exacerbated state, I exclaimed, "It's all pointless. I just learn these facts to regurgitate them during the exam, and then I completely forget them." You might be able to sympathise with my complaint. At this point, my father, who also attended the University of Adelaide, turns to me and says, "Yes, John, but the point of university is not to fill your head with a bunch of facts, but to teach you how to think." His point struck me and has stuck with me. The point of university is not to acquire knowledge, but is to teach us how to think. So, as university graduates, we all have been taught how to think in a structured and methodical way, which places us, I suggest, in a unique position to confront the error in our world. It appears to me that the disciplined and systematic use of thought to reflect on problems, to formulate and test solutions, and to apply our findings to remediate problems is the gift we leave here with today. And this is the real value that comes from our time here at the university. So I encourage you to never stop thinking about what you are doing and why you are doing it. Some of the worst atrocities in human history and many of the injustices we see in everyday life are the result of the unthinking and uncritical application of rules. Also, be aware that disciplined thought gives you a level of power and authority in the world. Be considerate in how you wield this power. Don't use it as a battering ram to assert your position or get your own way, but use it to humbly serve others and to correct error. I would like to offer my heartfelt congratulations to all of the graduates here today on your hard-won achievements. We have done it. We have put in the hours of study, we've balanced our education with family and work commitments, we've completed assignment after assignment, and we've been through the crucible of exams. Today, we have not only earned a piece of paper, but we have succeeded in disciplining our minds. We have learnt how to think, and I hope you won't ever stop. But we haven't done all this alone. We were supported every step of the way by our families, friends, mentors, university staff, and many others. Personally, I know I wouldn't be standing here today without the support of my parents, my parents-in-law, and my beautiful wife, Vanessa. So as I close, I'd like to invite all the graduates to stand and join with me, please stand, in thanking all the people here who have supported us on our journey here to graduation. Let's give them a round of applause.
It now gives me great pleasure to congratulate as a group all of our graduates today. Be proud of what you've worked so hard to achieve. And as Jonathan has said, remember those who supported you along the way, your family, your friends, partners, and I'm sure also the fine staff of this world-class university. As graduates of the University of Adelaide, you're also its alumni and its ambassadors. Over the many years since this university was established, its alumni have made wonderful contributions all around the world. Today, you join this cohort of more than 150,000 alumni of the University of Adelaide, who can be found in 135 countries around the globe. We have 21 global alumni networks, including 8 international networks. I hope you might think of joining one of these networks. I'd now like to thank the Mace Bearer, Dr. Matthew Stevens, our valedictorian, Dr. Jonathan Bartholomeus, and all who assisted in the organisation and running of today's ceremony. Could I now ask the graduates to remain standing while I invite everybody else who comfortably can to stand and once again congratulate the graduates on their success today. Would the audience please remain standing? And I now ask the graduates to stand for the academic recession. Once the academic recession has left the hall, we ask guests to stay at their seats until university staff assist them to exit the hall. I now declare this congregation adjourned.